and that's the area where you see a little bit of vibration as well. But the vibration actually disappears from your mind once you start riding this, because it's a fun to ride motorcycle, very agile, very. So I was feeling it in the initial days that it's too tough to ride inside city. Then I was thinking that okay, KTM has been in that way for a very long time. They are not a comfortable motorcycle. They are made for power. They are made for speed. They're made for control. In life, sometimes we come across people who, whatever they try to underperform, but still they don't fail in exams or they don't fail in life. And I have a very beautiful motorcycle today, the KTM Duke 390, the 349cc. What's up YouTube? So this is the all new brand new KTM 390, which is 349cc, and the first statement which I told about this motorcycle is very true, because KTM didn't compromise anything on the motorcycle except that they have reduced the engine capacity. Along with that, they have reduced the price as well, so that we get benefit from the government for the tax slabs. So let's do a fresh page review of this motorcycle. Let's forget whatever gone with the other one. So those who are actually planning to buy this, just stick to the video. So this will be having a comprehensive detailed review of this motorcycle as well as the competitive comparison and all. Most probably I believe that the 390cc, the 399cc will soon get replaced by the 450cc twin. Let's hope for that, at least in 2027. So let's start with the styling. KTM has never disappointed us. This headlight look banger. Always I've been a big fan of how this motorcycle looks. You see from this side. The only fact is that that piece of shroud, which has the text of 390, sticks a bit more outside than what we actually think. But that is fine. This design has grown inside me, so that I actually feel that looks okay as of now. So in this motorcycle you get fully adjustable front suspension. You can see the WP USD forks, and you get the same disc, the bigger disc in the front, and you get Apollo Alpha H1 tires, which are really grippy, and underbody exhaust, which is actually sounding not bad, because I was riding in the morning and I really find it good when we are actually on that 5000 to 6000 rpm. So you get that feel that you are actually moving fast. You get a good feedback from the engine. Rather than making the vibration noise, this is giving the actual engine noise. So there we have the 349cc, the LC4C engine. They are still keeping that LC4C now, which is good because it is actually a liquid cooled 4-valve engine, that is LC4C. Let's talk about the engine when we go out on the highway, and we get a little offset rear suspension. And from this angle, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this motorcycle because it doesn't tally too much, but from the front it looks banger. And from the tail section, the tail is actually neatly designed. This particular piece of plastic is bothering me, so I think we have to do a tail tidy to look at a bit more appealing from the back. And we have a moderately wider seat here for the rider as well as the pillion. So the seat is not so comfortable. It's a slightly firm seat, and also it has a bit of a vibration which is coming onto the seat. KTM doesn't want your bum to go inside and hit this plastic. That's the reason why we have a rubber padding over here. Pillion seat is also good, and we have grab rails here. So this grab rail is designed in such a way that you can hold it over here, and there is a little bit of a grab rail here as well, so that your pillion don't accidentally hit the tail light. So that's an intelligent thought. So while getting on the motorcycle, not too tall motorcycle, but the fun fact is that you have a very slim bike. You see that I always love this look, this orange color, black color, everything looks so nice and premium. I don't really say that these parts are premium, but the other things looks premium. By the way, this is a metal portion, and from here a couple of things we'll notice quickly once you get on. As I said, the handlebar is actually very close to the rider, and you'll see the adjustable suspension here. The key sits over here, and you have a big dash, and you have cruise control button here, and the plus of here and the minus here, so that you can adjust the speed in the cruise control. And on this side we have these switches to navigate through this, and we have horn, a back button, and an indicator button. So sometimes I get confused when I want to press the horn. I might go to the back button sometimes, or I may go to the cruise control button. So it's a little bit confusing, but I'm getting used to it. Now you get adjustable levers on both sides, and on this side it's plain and simple. You have the ignition and the kill switch, and let's turn on the dial. KTM didn't compromise anything on the motorcycle. We get everything that we used to get with the bigger 399cc. You get ride modes, so that's the most important thing. So there are 3 ride modes: street, track and rain. So rain is underpowered, more ABS, more traction control, and street is you have full power but with full electronics, but not too much intruding to your riding. And you have the track where full power, less of electronics, you'll have traction control turned off and less intervention from the ABS. And as well, you can control the ABS settings here. I think you can go to road and supermoto, where the supermoto is actually you can turn off the rear ABS. So let me put it back to the road. And you have MTC, the traction control, you can turn it on and off. You have launch control, so launch control only get activated when you are in the track mode. So pretty much all information that you can ask for in this dial. This has been a very big update to the previous generation of KTMs, and this has been a benchmark for many other motorcycles as well. So yeah, cruise control is there. You can switch it to speed control as well. That means you can limit your speed if you want. So totally, I'll say that great things. So you have Quickshifter. So Quickshifter also you can turn it off if you want. I'll turn it down all the way because I don't want to use it. So the clutch feel is actually neutral, neither too soft, neither hard. So that's the feedback. And the gear shifting is good. I like it. Even with the quick shifter, you have to put a little bit of effort, but once you are up in the higher revs like 6,000, you'll be able to do it nice and easy. But if you are down with 3,000 RPM, then yeah, this quick shifter has issues in the sense it refuses to shift, that's all. And you have the red line at 9,000 RPM, like close to 10,000 RPM, and I'll say that the sweet spot of the motorcycle is somewhere between the 5, 6, 7, and that's the area where you see a little bit of vibration as well. But you know, the vibration actually disappears from your mind once you start riding this, because it's a fun to ride motorcycle, very agile, very track focused, very easy to ride, fun KTM. So yeah, let's go out on the highway and talk rest of the things. Alright, we are on road. Sounds like older KTM itself, so let's pull it hard. What a feel, man, what a feel. KTM has never disappointed me in terms of performance. When I was thinking that KTM downgraded from the 399cc to the 349cc, 50cc means a bigger displacement when it comes to these kind of sub 500 motorcycle, because 10%, but they never tried reducing 10% power and torque. So the power and torque figures has dropped a little bit, but still it is worth giving it a try if you are a performance junkie. So the feedback of the engine is too good. It reaches the 100 kilometer in no time. That's what we generally want. I say this in every video, that reaches 100, because in most of the Indian highway conditions like what you see now, we need that 100 pretty quick, and from there it depends on your opportunity whether you can push it to 120 or 140 or 160 if you want. But 100 is what we want, just to overcome this kind of traffic. Just see this first guy, he's actually pissed off, it seems, with this traffic, so he's a little aggressive in driving. By the way, left hand overtake is not safe, but at times that is the only way. You see, it pulls like nothing. So it's a fun to ride. That engine gives you the feel that it demands more rev. It is not like I need to be in the lower revs. So that's the engine feedback when you are inside city. You see, I'm shifting 2 gears down because, you know, I wanted to be in that power band of that 4,000, 5,000 RPM. I don't want to feel like it is knocking. So that knocking sensation comes pretty early. Let's do that. See that I've reduced the speed and I open it. It does a little bit of vibration on the handlebar. So the whole of the bike actually switches to a very dominant mode, which really you don't need when you are riding a KTM. So when you ride inside city, you have to live with the second and the third gear, like other few motorcycles like the RTR or the RTX, which has shorter gear ratios, but still you can live inside the city with taller gears. The first 3 gear feels like longer gear ratios. You see that it calmly pulls, I don't say calmly pulls, it pulls aggressively, but the revs goes calmly. It doesn't shoot so instantly. And when it comes to the highway, you can comfortably do 120 or 140 if you want, and it can do a 160 even. That's the top speed I could do. But you know, more power comes with more vibration. I feel a lot of vibration on the handlebar, this part of the seat, a lot of vibration on the back, I mean the seat, and then more vibrations on the foot peg as well. We have an open road. Oh, I could feel that vibration. But it's fun to ride, okay? It is fun to ride. See, I'm not finding the right road to explore the top speed of this motorcycle, but still I would say that this is nothing less than the 399cc that we have seen with the previous generation of the KTM Duke 390. So keeping the engine apart, we have other things. Let's look at the ergonomics. Ergonomics is pretty tight. Being a 5'6" guy, I feel like I'm just putting onto the rider's triangle, which is a smaller circle on this one. So it's not a triangle anymore on this one, because the triangle actually shrinks way down to a circle on this motorcycle. Because you see the handle is wide. I'm actually sitting to the most back side of the rider's seat, and still I could feel that the foot peg is a bit rear set, and if I do this I can comfortably sit. That's the racing position, but not everyone will be doing that on the street. So rider's triangle is pretty tight. If you are a tall guy, you'll face a lot of knee pain. I mean, if you already have knee pain, it will little aggravate. Otherwise you might need a bit of a stops and brakes once in an hour or two. But you know, the fun part is when this motorcycle gives the adrenaline, you don't really care about the riding posture that you're maintaining. See, you don't really care about it. And the handling is too good. It's scalpel. Duke family never disappointed with handling. You think of it, you can do it, and the engine will help you to do that. And the stock setting of the suspension is slightly onto the stiffer side, be the front or the back, because you know, on these highways it gives you the precise control to do high speed cornering, high speed overtake, everything. When it comes to the low speed, first of all, the engine actually asks you to be in that higher rev, and secondly, the suspension is not going to support you a lot, because you know, it's completely onto a stiffer side, and you feel that why the hell did I bought this motorcycle. So I was feeling it in the initial days that it's too tough to ride inside city. Then I was thinking that okay, KTM has been in that way for a very long time. They are not a comfortable motorcycle. They are made for power. They are made for speed. They're made for control. I get it. So I'm happy. And when it comes to the brake, it's brilliant. I have no other word to tell. Fabulous braking. The front brake is too good. You just need to live with that. That's all. So the suspension, the braking, the handling, the engine, you actually get immersed in the motorcycle and start riding it. That's the way. But if you fail to immerse, let's say you are an old Royal Enfield guy, in the sense old Royal Enfield, I didn't really meant to say that you are old. You are an older Royal Enfield car, older generation motorcycle. So like very that duck feel and go relax kind of a guy, and come to this one, you instantly feel that this is not your cup of tea, and it's nowhere related to a tea as well for you. So it's not a comfortable motorcycle at all. That's the underline. And when it comes to the ownership aspects, this motorcycle comes for 2.77 lakh ex showroom. That means around 3.4 to 3.5 lakh on road Bangalore. Compared to the older generation of 390, or not the older generation, it still exists, the 399cc, that goes out for 3.4 lakh ex showroom, which means it's way above 4 lakh. So this is hell value for money now because of this price revisions and all. And the mileage figures are like you will get 20 to 25 inside city and 25 to 30 on the highway, and if you decide to belt it on the highway or on the streets, then you will get 18 to 20. So that's something you shouldn't ask for, because you should understand the math that the power and the fuel efficiency is inversely proportional. That means when one thing goes up, the other thing goes down. So the power is up on this and the mileage, the fuel efficiency is down. And this has to be serviced once in 7,500 kilometers, and after your free services you have to pay something between 2,500 rupees to 4,500 rupees per service. So that's your annual service cost, and the tires will generally last for around 10,000 to 12,000. If you're a track guy, you might need to change it once in 6,000 to 8,000 kilometers. So let's look at the verdict. The Duke 390, the 349cc, is still a track weapon, no doubt. This finds its comfort on the track and not on the streets or on the highways. But not everyone are a track guy. So let's assemble, guys, that we guys who wanted to ride the track bike on the street. So if you are someone who has only city riding, you're gonna suffer a lot. Stiffer suspension, harder brakes, which is actually good. The brake stops well, but you don't wanna have this brakes works for you in a pothole. You want that to work on a good road. So suspension will completely gives you a cold shoulder inside the city, and the engine is also demanding you to shift down. That means more vibration, more heating is there when you ride inside city. Heating is there, but no ground clearance issues, don't worry. And when it comes to the highway, this is the fun part. Even you see that I'm in the 5th gear. Why should someone shift a lot? You got a lot of shifting, but the Quickshifter will help you, not a problem. And the clutch feel is, as I said, it's neither too hard nor too soft, and the shifter feel is also good, so you don't have to worry about it. Keep the revs up and then shift. You see that, not a problem. But if you bring the revs down, it's not so much happy. So on the highway as well, it is good. You can comfortably cruise from 120 to 140. I was pleasantly cruising in the morning at 140. Then I realized that it's a heavily crowded highway and I don't want to do that. The only thing is, like, you are sitting so close to the front side of the motorcycle, so the wheelbase is pretty small. You are riding a very small bike. So if you want to keep your pillion as well, the pillion will be coming very close to you. So if that's your girlfriend or your boyfriend, that's not a problem. I mean, if you are in a good relationship now, that's not going to be a problem. You might want to hug and sit on the bike, but you have to give a lift to someone, and that person is not so much like, not like in that kind of a relationship with you where that person can hug you, then definitely you will be putting your pillion as well in a discomfort zone. And also the seat is not so comfortable, so even if it's your girlfriend or a boyfriend sitting behind, it's a crime to make them sit more than an hour continuously, because not comfort oriented. So that's my whole take of the Duke 390. Totally a brilliant motorcycle, a brilliant track weapon, a good street bike if you have good roads, good streets, and a good highway bike if you are having a good highway like this. So that's my personal feel. And finally, I want to tell you that I just love the Duke a lot. I'm just waiting for the RC390 to launch. I want that to see on the 450cc. KTM has always been giving the hints that they are bringing up the 450cc. So let's look forward for that. So that's it. I hope this video is helpful for you. And as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye. Come on, boy.